Thank you.
And Matt
Thank
for
you.
I'm so sorry, Matt. Thank you, Matt, for coffee.
Thank you, Matt.
Amazing coffee.
It is.
And Joseph for being Joseph, really.
Hey, Joseph.
Yeah, Joseph.
I love you.
So I'll just give you guys a rundown real quick of kind of what I do with what I do. I book a lot of shows. I almost never host them here at my house. I'll book independent venues outside of here and whatnot, and try to support as many artists as I come across. That's kind of technically how I encountered Dane here, and technically how I encountered Bradley. My company is the Common Eclectic, and what we're all about is just creating an environment where we can just be who we are and do what we love to do, and be in a safe place to do that. And I don't often perform at my own shows. I have a few times, but I don't necessarily like to. But Dane pesters me behind the scenes a lot, and so I'll read a story that I have written. But I'm really excited to have you all here. Make yourselves as comfortable as possible. Let us know if we can do anything for you. We also got bathrooms, first door on the right down the hall, if you guys really need them. And a case of water in the back, and coffee that Matt's brewing and everything. So in the meantime, I'm just going to read you guys a quick story, if you guys are all right with that.
Go for it.
Cool. So basically, just a little preface for the story. I was on a date one time with a girl who had recently lost her mother to cancer, and it was a very difficult and awkward scenario, quite frankly, for me, and I didn't know what to say or how to address it, and that's okay, you know? And the way that I responded was basically, we sat up on this hilltop in the city, just down the grade from here, and we were watching the sunset and then the stars come out and everything, and I tried to describe this like imagery that, you know, all the stars coming out were like loved ones that had passed away and everything, and they're just there shining and singing to us, and so let's not be super sad, let's just enjoy it. I don't do this a cappella ever, so this is kind of uncomfortable for me. There's like all this music that goes behind it and whatnot, but I'm just going to read it anyways, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So this is called Sky Above Us. Lostless, I could be found, held in your presence, as the sky reflected upon and throughout us. We'd watch its colors change. But while the sun set before us, I turned my eyes to you. I'd watch your lips pull gently into the quiet smile and ringlets of your hair carelessly swaying over your shoulders while the wind held it throughout its warm autumn dance. As the sky became darker, it left the faintest piece of illumination, which signaled an unrequited hope, and deep stretches of purple moved in an ease of transition behind the warm colors of dusk, which hung like shorelines stretched out in the sky. These blushing hues moved almost as if they followed the sun back down into the horizon, leaving only the night and its deafening answers. The solitude of that solid black above our heads came slowly, while it lay still, suspended in the imagery of the light that it replaced. We used to imagine processions of people spreading throughout the sky like a choir, as one by one the stars came to light and became clear. We'd picture family and friends who'd passed away, each with a candle in their hands, walking down that heavenly aisle. Gracefully, they'd lean towards the sun as it progressed back down into the dimming horizon, then continue on, having lit their candle with the remaining embers of daylight. It was a slow turn they'd make till they were facing back down towards us, and that flickering illumination became all at once a humbling sight to witness, with each star spread throughout the sky like a grand orchestration. It was as if every ocean and mountain came quietly to life and whispered a song. To look upon such a thing is to be wholly possessed by its resonance, its story, and all the metaphors we use to translate its birth into the space that it occupies. But the most unsuspected of these epiphanies is that all the while you were staring at the sky, I could never take my eyes off you. We used to feel captive to how brokenness displaced our hearts, and could only feel fleeting assurance that anything wholly good could be. But carried upon that moonlight, we could hear that choir of stars as all creation came together inside the handwritten cursive lines of every piece of that sky. And the song that they sang over us was love. Holy love, having been, being, and always will be. We were so young, and that majesty performing above us, we always will be. But for now, having seen these things, I could gather up the pieces of that melody and appreciate the moment with you as it ought to be. Laying my head down onto your chest and feeling the subdued beating of your heart quickening. The scattered shards of you and me, which used to harm one another, found their fit back into honesty and back into integrity, into greater hope for better life and everything. Those scars line the surface of our lives like crumpled stacks of roadmaps. We looked beneath that surface after we finally stopped letting ourselves be lost and asked for a way. And what we found beneath the surface was the same signature on that sky above us. And so we now lay beneath the foreign regions of apprehension, as every distance possible reaches out above our heads and carries itself like a lover with hope and sincerity filling both of its hands. We can see every star, and we can hear their song. I can feel your heart racing while you lose the breath in your lungs. And there it is, that we are, that we were, the broken pieces put back together and made complete, and wholly loved. That's all we ever will be. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you, Tim. From there, we're going to have Dane Clemens come up and grace us with a little bit of poetry. And after that, we're going to have Sir Bradley Hathaway do a 10-year retrospective on his career as a performer. And so let's get excited about that.
Yeah.
Give it up for Dane, though. Come on.
Yeah, Dave.
It won't look quite as cool because I'll be reading off my phone. And then I'm gonna say how we shouldn't be on our phones all the time. I'm Dane Clemens. I had the pleasure to know Stephen for a few years now, and I always enjoy whenever I get an opportunity to come up into Ventura County. And I don't know, I know most of you probably live up here, but for me, coming from Orange County where everything is about being fast and being cool and being popular, I always enjoy coming to Ventura County and getting to slow things down and enjoy slightly cooler air, especially at these beautiful nights. So I just want to thank all of you for even being willing to listen to me. So I'm gonna do a few different pieces from an upcoming EP I'm working on. I'm gonna start with one called Cracks Contents Connections, which is it's really about the feeling of home and how you can lose that and you can feel it temporarily, even though it can be so fleeting, and we always try to get back to that feeling of home, that thing that we felt as a child when we were safe and comfortable, and that thing that's not often with us as we grow up and get put into difficult situations in the world. So here it is. I lived in 2 houses growing up, both in the same neighborhood. The first I remember only through pictures of a tow-headed toddler, and the second was my home. The house was simple and small for the 6 of us, but it felt happy. And I was simple and small for the world, but I was happy. And we would climb that 40-foot pine tree that we could see from our front window that I swore was 100 feet tall, but I was small, and we measured. and we drank the contents of the green glass mystery bottles that we found in the garage cabinets, which I'm pretty sure was mineral water, but it felt bad anyway. And I lost more shoes at the park than the toes they exposed because I like to feel the warm sand and cool grass, and I didn't remember to stop feeling all the way home. Because at that time the clock always read fun, and the only watch I watched was the dropping of the sun, knowing to be home before the street lights came on. But the relentless revolutions of the earth around the sun forced our calendars into retirement, and they took my starry eyes with them, leaving only a dark sky reality of my childhood and my home breaking alongside my family. My parents split as the roof did, fractured from the top, the rain brought the gloom in. Saturated sadness caused the home to become rotten, from the inside out feeling home was forgotten. So I lived in my childhood house. Sorry guys.
You're good, you're good.
Void of the contents that made it a home. Until the time came for us to move out, it didn't hurt much, for I was spaced out and grown, you see. Eviction didn't sting me too deeply because leaving an empty box empty was easy. Besides, we were served an eviction notice long ago in the form of divorce papers, and we were forewarned living every Sunday as church smile fakers, and we got a hint at the ceasing of family dinners, and we got a clue after every fight that didn't have a winner, which was all of them. So I moved into a new home. I moved under a new roof and into new walls. I chose to remain spaced out and reverted to being small. For I was feeling growing pains of being grown in pain, so my heart groaned in pain. It's been a while now and I've slept many places. Garage mattresses in my car's back seats, near stranger floors and Colorado basement houses, San Francisco front doors and plaid fabric couches. I now live comfortably and safely